More hello there Tenno, and welcome to the Mastery Rank 25 test. Before we get into it, I need you to like, comment and or sub on this or any of my many other videos. Get to it, you know what to do, Tenno. Thank you for your support. Now let's get into the test. So technically this test requires the player to use an Archwing deployed by the Archwing launcher, but it's actually within the mission. You just run up to the Archwing and it's just there to traverse a multitude of floating platforms, killing 50 enemies before the timer runs out. The player can extend the remaining time by melee attacking the orbs that spawn in on the platforms. Now, I did this test obviously by cheesing it with Titania, but I've also done it using a random Warframe like Dante because of his Paragram ability to help take down the enemies, and using the Archwing within the test. So that'll come at the end if you want to go and watch that. If you haven't got Titania, just flick to it because I've chaptered up these videos. Now this is my Titania build I'm using. We want a ton of duration and we want as much preparation as possible with a high energy pool, and that's because we just need time to fly around. So if you give a high duration, don't worry about your strength of your ability. I put precision intensifying because that bolsters up your fourth ability, which happens to be her little fairy ability, and that's when we whip out these weapons, her little Dex Pixie and the Duata, which obviously we can use her Duata melee to smack up the orbs, and also use a little pew pew gun to shoot the enemies, and also her razor flies will also be taking them on. So you know, she's the winner chicken dinner for this type of test. However, we can use the Archwing within the test. It's just a bit more faffy, that's all. But it is important to note that whatever Archwing you have got currently equipped in your arsenal is the one that you will be using in the test when you jump into that little Archwing launcher. So the Itzal would be a really good choice because it just has the highest base speed, but honestly it's fine. You can just like mosey on through and you'll be good. Now let's get to the test with Titania first. And now, first thing we want to mention is these Archwings in front of you. As you can see, I accidentally jumped into them. You don't have to press anything, you just have to approach them and your Warframe will just automatically clip into them, which is great if you want to do that. If you don't, then it's really irksome. And then you have to land again if you aren't Titania and you're not flying on her own little wings, do you know what I mean? And yeah, we can smash up the orbs with Titania's melee, which is super useful. And basically the timer starts at 28 seconds and each orb you destroy will increase your timer up by 20, but only up to a maximum at any point of 29 seconds. So you're always on a countdown from 29 seconds, so just bear that in mind. And each platform contains a respawning Archwing that can be used to travel to another platform once it has been cleared. So, you know, some of the platforms I approached actually didn't have any enemies on, or my razor wing fly thingamajiggies had already taken them out. As you can see, no enemies here, but you can usually see them as a little red mark on your little mini map as you approach anyway. So blink maneuver can be used to traverse between platforms to make it much quicker. And even the wiki says Titania is so much better for this test. She cheeses it, she makes it easy, and you can freely use her melee without having to pop in and out, and you can shoot the enemies, and her little razor fly wingamajiggers are also killing the enemies for you in between. And yeah, you just gotta keep an eye on the next platform. On some of them they just feel like they're miles and miles and miles away, but that's the whole point. When I took the Itzal, flying between them was much quicker, and you can increase Titania's airspeed by modding, I believe, so it's up to you if you'd rather add a bit of speed to her, but I actually don't like her going too quickly because I fly into everything. As you can see though, we've killed everything in midair and we're done, and that didn't take too long at all, did it? Now if you have yourself a Titania, I imagine you are dashing off now that you've got the information you need. But if you don't have a Titania and you need to do it the old-fashioned way, I'm just showing you a random Warframe. Happened to be Dante because of his Paragrim ability that we're going to pop, because those Paragrims will go off and hopefully take down some enemies for us. And I've taken my Exceltra Prime because it's got kind of a nice AoE vibe. No Riven, I left it out just to show that it's okay. Because obviously we're going to be shooting things potentially from our Archwing now and again. And this is the Archwing I used. It's the Itzal. Absolutely nowhere near a complete build, but it doesn't matter because we just really need it for its speed, not its abilities. And you will see me popping my abilities now before we get going. I didn't have full preparation in, unfortunately, so I didn't have a huge pool of energy. Doesn't matter. And as you can see, we just approach the little arc wings and we just pop straight into our Archwing. So it can be a bit annoying if you're not aware of where it is and you accidentally pop into it and you're still trying to kill the enemies or melee, because obviously we can't melee now from our Archwing, whereas Titania essentially can. So we have to drop down out of our Archwing to melee the orb to give us that extra 20-second boost. And you can kind of get clever with it if you want and only melee the orbs when you need them, because, you know, if you're on 19 seconds, you'll need them. Anything above it, you don't necessarily do. But we do need to be killing the enemies on each of the platforms anyway. So you may as well just head to the next yellow dot and just keep going. And the itself, as you can see, is it just feels a bit quicker in the air than Titania was. But I think weirdly, it felt like this test took longer because my Paragrims, I'm guessing the range wasn't as good as Titania's little razor wing flies when she's in her fourth ability. But either way, it worked. It was fine. We had plenty of time. I didn't ever feel completely like I'm going to run out of time. And what's the worst that can happen if you do run out of time? You just reset the test and have to start again. And I keep banging on about in the old days, if you were doing the test proper, not the practice, and you failed it, then you had to wait 24 hours. I know, it was depressing, and it made them more stressful. It made them so much more stressful. Anyway, as you can see, head back to the wings and just keep an eye on the mini map and in front of me where these yellow pointers are. I'm trying to head to the ones that are numerically closer to me, so I'm not wasting too much time parkouring to the other side of the map during the test. And as you can see, we're getting close. We've got 8 more enemies to take on, and sometimes, like I said, you get to a platform and the enemies seem to have already disappeared, which is a little bit irksome. But as tests go, this one isn't too bad. Let me know if you've got to this point which one was your least and most favourite so far. And we have some other fiddly ones coming up and some endurance ones, but at the end of the day, they'll all get done, and before you know it, you're going to be ranking up. And it is good to rank up because you do get those extra slots and you get the extra daily standing limits, etc. So it's all good, and also you feel proud of yourself because you're achieving something in a game. But for now, thank you for watching. Good luck in your test, whichever one you're taking on now or next, or whether you're doing a bit of research for the future. Hi, good luck. And what quests are you at? And are you enjoying the game? Thank you for watching. I really do hope to see you again in the next one, no matter what it may be. But in the meantime, you take care now, and goodbye.